Good evening, everybody. Hello,
Hey,
Margaret.
hi, Bob. How are you tonight?
Yeah, you guys got to excuse my throat. It's a little scratchy this evening. Um, I don't know what I'm coming down with. Just a sore throat, I think.
Yeah.
But I think tonight's going to be a pretty good show discussing different forms of begging problems. And like you were saying when I was speaking to you earlier, it's just not begging over food or
Right.
um, just begging for, gosh, mom, pet me on the head. And they start with the pause and goes on from there. So, I mean, it can be a big problem if the owners keep giving in. So, I'm going to let you push off on this and then I'll fill in the blanks.
All righty. Well, the first thing we think about with begging is food. So when you're sitting there eating your meal, you can look over and see your dog's eyes just staring down at
Fixated,
you.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And that can turn into something worse than begging. It can be you stand up to go close your blinds or something, your dog steals your food. You have to nip it at the bud and stop the begging. So, what do we have to be with any form of behavior we want our dogs to do is we need to um, have repetition and consistency.
Consistency.
Exactly. So Bob is a big, big, huge fan.
And I will get in a client's butt all day long over consistency. And there's a couple ways you can stop the begging. What I always tell my clients now, don't forget, I'm working my clients in obedience training. So it's a simple sit stay about 4 foot away from the table and set them up like you're eating a little package of crackers. You don't even have to eat them, just act like you're putting it up to their mouth. And every time the dog goes to get up, put that dog, drag his little butt right back to where he was, make him sit stay. Remember, folks, I hate to burst y'all's bubbles, but you guys started this. Your dog did not start this. Here,
Truth,
baby, have a little piece of cheese.
truth.
Oh, here's the Cheetos. Here, and then when you're up on the couch and you're trying to eat ice cream or you're trying to eat a little bowl of chips, next thing you know, dog's on the couch. He's right in front of your face. And what do? Here, baby, you can have a little piece.
Yeah.
Well, you guys started it. So all I can do is tell you how to try to stop it. I've been telling all my clients to work the sit stays 3, 4 foot away from the table, short little victories. And then, I tell some people, you got to set up boundaries. In other words, I tell some people they have a little galley kitchen in an apartment. Don't let the dog in the kitchen while you're cooking. Don't let the dog in the dining room when you're eating. Don't let your dog anywhere near the kitchen table. So by telling them to sit stay, what are you doing? You're working your dog. It could be 2 minutes. It don't matter. Then release them. Get up from the table, but set that dog up. And I got, oh, Bob, I tried it. It's not working. Well, it'll work if you do it right. And I'm going to give this back to Margaret because
Yeah.
I got some other things in the fire underneath my hat.
Uh-oh. Watch out. Yeah, and you need to try more than one time because a lot of times, oh, I tried it a couple times where you have to build that repetition and consistency and do it over and over and over. I know it's redundant. I know it can be boring, but if you keep doing it, you're going to build a behavior. And like you said, the stays promote self-control and patience. And that's what your dog needs to learn is self-control and patience. You can take some painter's tape if you don't have a clear boundary between your kitchen and the rest of the house, and you can put that piece of tape right at the entrance on the floor and let your dog know that when you're cooking, you don't go over that line. You know, you can tell them to wait.
Exactly.
instead of stay. You can even do a place command where you tell them place and they go on their dog bed. That is a great, tool to use as well. But when you're eating, it's a great tool because your dog should have their place that they go to while you're eating, so then they're not up in your face,
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting there eating a snack, that's your snack. It is not the dog snack.
Right.
He's got his treats. He gets his treats when he completes a certain amount of task. A lot of people, oh, he was such a good boy today, and they give him a treat. Well, I mean, people, it's your dog. We can only steer you in the direction we think that we can help you best in. If you want a really good dog, please do what we say. Now, the other thing, besides the food stuff, and you guys started this too. Dog comes up to you, he jumps on your lap or he puts his paws on you, and his tail's 100 miles an hour. And if you got a Great Dane, he's wiping off your coffee table with it. And he's all excited. And next thing you know, you got a 90, 100-pound dog that wants all your attention right now. And what do? Oh, what a good boy. He is not a good boy. He's saying, scratch my damn head. Period. Teach your dog manners. People say, well, I've seen people discipline their children or tell their children no more than their dogs. Oh, I can't tell my dog no. I'm going to hurt his feelings. I don't want to yell at him. Well, then don't come to me and try to fix your problems. When you discipline your kids and not your dogs, something is definitely wrong. Period.
Yep.
Right, Margaret?
Yes, sir.
So if your dog comes up to you, even as a puppy, or you bring a dog in from the shelter or a rescue organization, now they're going to tell you whatever the hell they want to tell you. You still don't know the full story behind that dog. So what I recommend is this. If it's an older dog and you rescued it, put in your mind what went on in the other house is not going to happen here. You will live by my rules. And that's when you come to me, you're going to sit, and then I'm going to praise you. Remember, people, obedience, obedience, obedience. It opens up a line of communication between you and your dog. Without the obedience, you're just grasping for straws. And he's such a good dog, but he just don't listen. Excuse me, what the hell does that mean? Right. I'm sorry. I know I'm blunt, but in this topic, it's just common sense, folks. Mm-hmm. You teach your kids to take their shoes off at the door. What is so hard to teach a dog when he comes to you and let him realize he can get just as much praise from a sitting position than being disciplined all the time for jumping all over you. And then you praise him. So then you're throwing mixed signals. Get off me. Oh, good boy. What? Yeah, I'm lost. Fill me in here, Margaret. Am I missing something the way people think?
No, exactly. It's like when people say, well, I have this friend that comes over and my dog jumps up on her and we're trying to curb the jumping. And they always say, it's okay. It's okay. They don't mind if the dog jumps on them. I said, but do you mind? And whose dog is it? That you have to be consistent. So you can't let them jump on one person and not on the other, and then not on you, and then yes on dad and not on mom, and you're throwing mixed signals like Bob is saying. So you have to set the boundaries. I have a training dog here right now that I'm teaching them before I fill the water bowl and before I give them food, I have them sit. Okay. 2 days. And now they automatically sit before I
there you go.
Give it to, because repetition and consistency. Why do you think when we walk in the door, your dog acts different then when we leave and they're just with you, it's because from day one, we have said, this is how you're going to act with me.
Yeah. I
There you
mean,
go.
I've had clients tell me, man, when you show up, Bobby, this dog just automatically sits. You know, it's like it should be that all the time
Right.
with you. You know, I have a trainer. I mean, I love the girl to death. She's dynamite. After the third or fourth lesson, if it's a severe jumping problem, greeting behavior, she comes right out and says to the clients, why is this dog still jumping on me? You know, all boils down. It's not us, people. We're going to set the foundation. It's you to build. You got to build a building.
Right.
Period. A lot of trainers will say, oh my God, he's going against what we tell our clients. Well, too bad, because I don't lie to my clients. I don't live with my clients, or that dog would be boom, boom, boom in a week. You know? But the clients have to follow through. Bottom line. And, you know, I'm going to throw a question out to everybody that's online right now, or going to watch us later. And I brought this up, I believe, in 3 shows. See if you guys are paying attention. There's 3 parts to consistency. Name them. And I'm going to let you guys think about it. Put it in comments. I'm going to see if one person can name the 3 different parts of being consistent. Well, I'm going to tell you. It's not just getting the dog to complete a task. That's one part. The second part is your voice tone. Why would you say sit and it don't work, and you say sit and it don't work, and you say sit and it don't work, and then you're aggravated and you go sit and the dog pops his butt on the ground? What's that telling you, people? Why waste your breath on 3 sits when 1 worked? The other part, correction, correction, and correction. Get in your head. Don't tell the dog sit or a command more than once. If the dog knows the command and he's done the command for you, don't say sit, sit, sit without a correction. That means he got away with not sitting 3 times. So are you really being consistent? No, you are not. It's sit. If he doesn't do it, it's no associated with the leash correction, and then give the command again. If you don't do that, you're missing a boat, and you'll be tackling obedience for 1.5 years. Right, Margaret?
Yes, sir.
I mean, why would you tell a dog, sit, sit, sit? Come on, buddy, sit, sit. Good boy, sit. Oh, look, he sat. Oh, please.
And every time you say sit, the dog's going.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, she means it at 5. So I wait till 5.
Yeah, I can wait till the 5th one.
Oh,
You know?
and I have one little announcement to say though, and everybody needs to know this. Are you paying attention? Your dog is not a computer.
Yeah,
There, I said it.
yeah, that's good. That's
All right.
good. That's good. You know, and I can go on and on over this, but as far as the begging stuff, utilize the obedience. If your dog is an obedience trainer, find a trainer in your area that is reputable, that is not 100% cookie trainer, because he's going to tell you, or she, if the dog puts his paws on you and everything else, redirect him with a cookie and tell him to sit. So then the dog gets a cookie for putting his paws all over you and then sitting. And no, I mean a good trainer. Sorry, stepping on people's toes. Don't care. Find a good trainer,
Yes.
and they'll steer you in the right direction. All right. Do not give your dog things for free. Let's look at things realistic, people. If you were able to go to work, sit on your butt in a break room, drink Pepsis or Dr. Peppers and eat potato chips all day, and you got a paycheck every single week and you didn't have to work, would you want to work? Hell no, I wouldn't. That's what your dog's getting. The love and affection and the cookies and the treats and the scratch on the heads are all that dog's paycheck. Make him work for it.
Yep.
Give your dog a job. He'll be happier. He knows what pleases you, and you're going to be happier. Take it away, Margaret.
All right. Hey, Susan. Nice to hear from you. You have cool dogs. I love your boys. And I know you're working on, but you're a lot better than some people that I do see. And I walk in and it's like a nightmare, but you have to stay. It's not being too hard on your dogs. If you have rules, you have to stay with those rules. Like Bob was saying with your children, you have them take their shoes off and put it, at the doorway when they come in. Up north, they call it the mud room. We don't have that down here. I grew up not knowing what a basement or a, mud room was, but it's just like with your kids, after school, you come home, you do your homework. It's giving them structure, and that's one thing you have to give to your dogs is structure and a schedule and rules. And this is what it is, So when you're eating your meal, the dog is not looking at you, with those sad eyes right up, close to you and begging. But if they're across the room and they just, look at you, that's not begging either. I'm talking about being up in your face, maybe on the couch, sitting right next to you with their face right here,
Yeah.
And you can feel their breath on your face.
Or trying to
like,
taking the food right out of your hand.
Exactly. And they need to know this is people food. They don't get people food. My dogs do not get people food.
Well, the other thing too, Margaret, I have clients that say, well, he steals the cookies from the kids. You want to fill in how to deal with that?
Yeah, we need to work with first that they're really young toddlers. You need to be right there with them and correcting the dogs and letting the dogs know you need to respect the toddler as well as me and kind of pass that, being in charge to the toddler. If it's, an older child, like, 7, 9, you need to show them what to do. First of all, include them in the obedience training so the dog sees them as one of the leaders. And let the kids know when you have food, don't let the dog sniff it even. Don't let them get near it. Hold it up here and maybe yell for mom or something like that. But, sometimes the kids think it's cute. Oh, I'm going to knock food off, give it to the dog. No, the rules are the rules. Okay. No people food. So include your children in the training. It helps tremendously.
Yeah. And, I agree 100% everything Margaret was saying there. Please, people, if you want your dog to stop begging, don't give them food whenever you're eating. Give them their treats. Stop giving them little pieces of chicken. I mean, it's all right for a treat here and there. But when you're eating, stay out of my kitchen or stay away from my table. Mm-hmm. It's just teaching the dog manners. The worst thing, let's say you have family comes over for Thanksgiving. You got 12 people at your table and your dog's underneath the table and jumping on people and slobbering all over their legs because he's drooling over the food. No. And don't say, well, we got to put him in another room. That's not solving anything. It's avoiding a problem. You're not even putting a Band-Aid on it at that point. Do we have any other questions as far as begging of any type?
Well, I think someone is talking about arrest the dog for stealing the cookies, call the police and the FBI and Homeland Security.
Yeah.
But Cindy's right with the same on the couch and the bed, so you can have your boundaries with begging, attention seeking. Like I
Yeah.
know someone who's got an issue when they're on the phone. That's when their dog wants their attention, and they
Right.
bark and they shove toys in their face and everything like that. You know, what Bob keeps saying and what I say too is set the dog up. It's not setting the dog up for failure. It's setting them up to learn, because
Exactly.
if you wait for the issue to happen,
You'll never get it fixed.
yeah, it's going to take forever. He may do that once a week and then it's going to take a long time. So set it up like I'll call Bob and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm training a dog not to hold on 1 second. Someone that is willing to be on hold, put the phone down. What correction works with your dog? Is it a spray bottle? Is it a shaker can? Is it the leash and collar? You know, find what works with your dog best. It could be the doggy don't device that makes that sound. You know, you can get one of those. Whatever works for your dog. And then get back on the phone. That's letting your dog know as well, your behavior is not going to keep me from putting my attention to this phone.
Right. It goes back to what I was saying. In order to solve a problem, you've got to work on that problem. Period. So the same thing with act like you're eating something at the table. That's kind of like setting the dog up. Get you something crumply or even make noises like, oh boy, this is good, whatever. But keep that dog at a stay. Keep him out of the kitchen. You're not really eating. You're basically working your dog. But if you do it, like Margaret said, just when you're eating dinner, you don't want to be interrupted while you're eating dinner and have to put your dog back, because you folk, I know it as well as you, it's not going to happen. So set the dog up.
Yep.
Act like you're eating. Like Margaret was saying, have a friend let the phone ring a couple times, whatever, and pick it up. Or call yourself from someone else's phone and pick it up and act like you're talking. You know, this way it doesn't matter if you're interrupted, because you're really not talking to anybody.
Exactly.
So that's what I would suggest.
Yeah. Then when you get in the real situation, you've practiced it enough. And, you know, like my dad used to say, I used to drill it in your head. You know, you've practiced it enough to where your dog has this new behavior now, where when you get on the phone, okay, I'm going to go over here and chew on a bone. And my mom loves it when I do that. And then after she's done, I have her then. Her attention's on me then. I don't have to fight with a phone. I don't have to argue with a phone. But yeah, we're not computer programmers. You don't program a dog like a computer, and then for the rest of its life, when you push the Y key, it's going to keep doing the same thing like a computer, you know? So you have to keep up with the behavior. You have to practice it, you know, and have that consistency. That is key.
One thing I want to add to this doesn't have anything to do with begging or anything. A lot of these people on other channels, they paint these pretty pictures and they say this is going to work and that's going to work. And, you know, I think Margaret and I are the only dog training channel to where it's more like a seated sit-down discussion. Maybe later on we may bring a dog in, do this, or shoot some videos like we did the last one. But it's usually, let's hit this topic, and we try to deal with our customers' problems. What I see most, what Margaret sees most. We're not going to lie to you, it takes work. What you're hearing here is not a pretty picture. We're telling you the truth. And we're telling you exactly like we talk to our customers. Our customers, of course, we know the dog. We know what the dog is like. We know our customers, so we are able to be a little bit more specific on certain things. Here we can only give like a generalization if you want Margaret and I to touch base with you, send us an email to rockindogs11@gmail.com. We'd be more than happy to get into a little bit more, let's say, in detail
In
about
depth.
problems.
We can get into in depth. I love the bubble wrap comment. That is
Yes. Let me
that's
tell
like
you something. Let me tell you something about Dan. I've known Dan for a real long time, and his daughter's a dynamite girl. Uh, if the bubble wrap works, Dan, that's fine. But one thing I want you to understand, man, you ain't gonna be carrying bubble wrap around with you wherever you go. Use the
and
six
if you do, I'm gonna wonder about you.
Use it. Use it. Use it. Utilize that obedience. Set the dog up. Tell him no. Drag his butt back. Make him stay. You know, I know your dogs aren't obedience trained, but at least keep him in the other room or 4 foot away from the table. Set the dog up, just like Margaret and I were saying. Cindy, what are you saying here? Also,
Yeah, to desensitize them to the doorbell ringing.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because
Doorbell ringtones. Yeah, yeah. But there is a girl that sent me. If Margaret, do you have anything else to add on this?
no, just what you want to achieve, you have to work at it. It's not, a lot of things in life aren't easy. And when you want to achieve, you have that goal in mind. You have steps that you have to take, to get there. So, talk with your trainer, know what goals that you have. I have people write down the top 3 goals they want to achieve in the training session. And I always address those, but at least by talking. At first, we might not address all of them because that's a lot to throw on the dog. But
Right.
communication, not just with your dog, but with your trainer is key as well.
Right. And like the way you work a dog, the way I work a dog is very similar. Um, like as far as the doorbell, as far as darting, don't let the dog dart and things like that. If we touched base on this before, Cindy, um, a lot of trainers make a mistake and they make their dog sit before it goes outside. Then they open the door and they say, "Let's go," and they let the dog do whatever it wants, and they get them out in the street, and then they start working them. Wrong, 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 wrong. Gain control from the door to the other side of the door, down to your sidewalk, 3-step stop, 4-step stop, 5-step stop, left turn, right turn, down your driveway. This way you're gaining control before you hit the street. And that's all I got to say about that. But as far as the email we got, I received an email from a young lady. Pretty sure she's a young lady that has a problem with her dog. Christopher brought it up for us. Margaret, can you read that, please?
Yes. Hi, Bob and Margaret. I just watched your first segment and loved it. Thank you so much. We just adopted a rescue puppy, a Dachshund miniature pinscher mix. Wow. In February. We do not know much about her background and received her at 13 weeks old. Recently, our now 10 months old puppy met another larger dog. So I guess this is the same puppy at 10 months old, met another larger dog that is also a puppy and showed some resource guarding behavior with toys, treats, and her owners. She would growl and lash out at the other puppy to protect her resources. She does not resource guard objects around us or people she knows. She will bark quite a bit and keep her distance from new people until she warms up to them. On walks, she barks and pulls a lot and people and other dogs. Is this also considered resource guarding behavior? Is she protecting us? What is the best way to correct that behavior in the future? How can we work with her?
Yeah, that's 5 different things right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a whole can of worms going on in there. Um, the resource guarding could have been from the breeder where they got the dog from. Dog's got a resource guard to protect its food from the other dogs. Um, as far as protecting you, no, the dog is not protecting you. Most dogs don't even know about protecting their owners. It's mostly fear aggression, 99.5% of the time. A matter of fact, there's even a video out there. I don't know exactly where it's at, but he's a pretty good trainer. And he says, well, a lot of people think their dogs will protect them. This guy came barging in the house, got a full bite suit on, but a bite suit is just a pair of pants and a jacket. Of course it's padded. And they come in, they go to act like they're beating up the owners. The dogs, matter of fact, I think all the dogs just ran away or stood at a distance and barked while their owner got beat up.
They probably don't know what to do.
A good dog needs to be protection trained. I mean, if you want a good dog
that
will protect you, that's not afraid of getting hit by people or yelled at and knows how to handle a situation, get your dog protection trained. Christopher, there was another email. It would have been the last one, I believe it came through.
I didn't know about the other email. Sorry.
That's okay. I sent it to Margaret. It's the one we were talking about before the show.
I have a quick question on the other email, though. When you get a puppy like that is defending, one thought that I always have is when a puppy is defending its toys and things like that, could it be like either it was the alpha of the litter or the run to the litter, where it feels like, I don't know much about, like breeding and stuff like that because I don't do that. But
it depends a lot on where they got the dog. All right.
Yeah.
Alpha dog, I mean, let's face it, in the wild, a wolf is always going to try working his way up to be King Kong, that wants to be the pack leader. That's just the way things go. But it's a puppy, yeah, he could be defending things, but I think what will really help this person is a good foundation in obedience, teaching it right from wrong, the difference between right and wrong. I'm not going to take your toys. A lot of these so-called breeders out there, even homeowners that breed, two dogs together and don't know any better, they just leave the puppies in a room and they throw a big bowl of food down and the puppies got to fend for themselves. Well, that's also can start resource guarding because they're fending for themselves over that food. So, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities, but I'd have to get into detail more with the owners
Right.
and really, really look at that puppy.
Yeah, the socialization period I know is from 7 to 16 weeks. So anything you want to introduce to your puppy, what did she say? She got the puppy at 13 weeks. So it was almost at the end of that window. They create a file cabinet up here.
Yeah.
And throughout the rest of their life, they go back to that file cabinet. Now, I had a dog that I got at about probably 4 years old that was rescued from Miami-Dade Services. She had no personality. None.
Yeah.
And she's 12 or so now. And I can now take her to the vet. She doesn't even need to be muzzled to get her shots and to get her nails done. But if it takes a lot longer, you can socialize an older dog. But if you want to socialize a puppy with everything and anybody and everything, 7 to 16 weeks, do it.
Christopher, were you able to find that?
I found it if you want me to read it, but
yeah, it's under Kristen. If you can read that, Margaret.
Yeah, you may have to because I didn't know I was supposed to look for it.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Well, see, there's communication, Bob.
Yeah, it's repetition. It's consistency.
Yeah.
Are you saying that I'm fat?
That's Bob, not me. Hey.
Don't make me put my glasses on again and look through my bifocals, Christopher.
Okay. This is a good long email. Is there any parts you want me to You want me to just read the whole thing?
You can go over pretty much all of it. I mean, we got a
Okay.
little bit of time. I just want to touch base, see what people think about this.
Okay.
I think her name's Kristen, right?
Yes, from Kristen Antosh.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Bob. I've been watching several of your YouTube videos, and I would really like for you to possibly work with our family. We live in Mentor. I am going to be very honest with you about her background. Our puppy Belle is a 10-month-old rescue that we received at 15 weeks old. We do not know much about her history, her backstory. We've been to 12 weeks of training sessions and play groups.
Hello, Melanie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. We've been to 12 weeks of training sessions and play groups with another local company, but had to stop abruptly because she went into heat unexpectedly. Also, we have 2 small children, and because of the pandemic, we were unable to continue to properly and consistently obedience train with her as they were home during homeschool hours. So we know some of her poor manners are our own fault. That's the first step, is admitting.
Yeah.
She does great listening to us when there are no distractions. She knows sit, stay, down, bed, roll over, etc. The moment there is a distraction, like a new person or dog, she doesn't pay attention to us. Biggest issue we are encountering is that she seems to be reactive to other dogs. She does great in the house with leash walking because there are no distractions, but as soon as we go outside, I have trouble getting her to keep her attention towards me. When she was in training, she was reactive initially as well, but after some time of being comfortable in her surroundings, she ignored the other dogs in class.
Now, stop right there. You hear what it said? Surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
That means the dog finally got used to the area it was being trained, whether it be an auditorium, a dog training school, a PetSmart. I'm not sure exactly where this dog was trained. I think that's part of the problem right there. The dog listens there. It listens in a home environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole new world outside.
Okay.
Go ahead, Margaret. Go ahead.
She doesn't say what breed it is,
Right.
but I'm wondering because what type of breeds are always watching around their surroundings, you know? So it'll be interesting to see what breed she is. Biggest issue we are encountering is that we already did that part. We've noticed that since we have known her, she is very sensitive to motion. That's what I was thinking, that maybe she's got some herding breed in her.
Herding or terrier.
Uh-huh. The Ratters. I am not sure if that is her breed or if it's due to something that happened to her. With dogs, her back fur goes up and barks and pulls towards the other dog. With people, she is excited, but usually hesitant and wants to bark. Hoping you can help us. Can you let me know what you might suggest and also the cost of training you recommend? If you would prefer a meet and greet, we are free most days of the week as we work from home.
Okay. Yes, I do want to meet you. Yes, I do want to evaluate your dog. I will know where to go once I meet the dog and talk to you and your family a little bit more in depth about what's really going on. I know it's hard to put it all in an email. It's hard for us to touch base on everything. I feel that the reactivity toward other dogs, I feel that a lot of it is stemmed by you. If you know it's coming, you're going to tighten up. You're going to be nervous. The dog is going to read that. I don't redirect with cookies or toys. That's what most trainers do in these environments that you're talking about. I redirect with obedience. In other words, I'll come down firmer on the dog and I'm going to walk a different direction. I'm going to go right back to him. I'm going to make a little circle and go right back. I'm going to make a little circle and go right back.
Yep.
And the other thing is I always work at a distance on reactive dogs first. I've seen trainers out there that want to bring the dogs head on right from the beginning. No, 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 no. No, you're looking for a battle. You know, start at a distance. There is I'm not going to give any names, but she is a prosecutor that's got a very aggressive pity toward other dogs. Listens to her obedience when there's up and down the street as long as there ain't a dog around. So what I did, I brought one of my dogs. I had one of my trainers walk my dog across the street and just sit there. Dog looked a couple times, which is fine. Then I said, praise your dog. Why did I say praise the dog? Because there was no reactivity. I want the dog to understand you'll get praised if you don't bark. You're going to get corrected if you do. Then I gradually got my dog closer and closer and closer to where I had my dog probably 3 foot walking behind that dog. I mean, right on his butt. Dog wasn't even looking. That was in the first session with a miniature German Shepherd. Now, then I brought Hank Williams, my coon dog cross. Oh, that was a whole other ball game. Now it's a bigger dog. But I did the same thing. What a lot of people don't understand. If you're going from one thing to another, like what worked with one dog, bringing it on, you got to start the same way with the other. It's just like starting a dog on a long line. Put the long line behind your back and walking. You got to go back to the beginning. 3-step stop, 2-step stop, 5-step stop, left turn, right. You just can't expect your dog to do it. And that's where a lot of people and trainers fail. That don't use e-collars. I very seldom use them.
Yeah, I
But
don't either.
you got, whatever you're doing, if you go to take it a step further, always go back to the basics and work him up to it.
Yeah.
It's so much easier, you know? So, but Christy, I do want to talk to you. Drop me another line. I think I answered you on that email. Get with me. I gave you my number. Give me a call, and I'll be sure to help you. And also, folks out there, like, share, subscribe. You missed it, Margaret. I beat you to it this time.
Dang it.
So let me see here. Hello, Catherine. How are you today? All right. Now, this is about going to wrap it up for us, I think, on this segment. I want to thank everybody for checking in with us. Please share it. Please subscribe. The more people we get, the better. I mean, like I said, this is the only station out there that I believe where it's just Margaret and I. We've got over 60 years experience between the two of us training dogs.
See the gray hair.
Yeah, you're an old woman. So I'm an old man. So, hey,
And Christopher, thank you again.
he's just a guy on there.
I got a
having his
quick
dog
question
with
for you
the-
guys, actually.
Oh, you have a question?
I do, and it's in relation to what you're talking about, so it's not
Okay.
going to be too goofy.
All right.
This guy behind me over here,
Yes.
Mr. Maines, as you could tell, he's pretty street. You know, he's been involved in a couple of drive-bys. Now, the thing is, with Mr. Maines, he has the worst anxiety out of any dog, and it's probably because of the fact that he was bottle fed as a baby. And he gets worked up over anything. If Amy and I go and, go into another room and close the door, he will cause his paws to bleed scratching at it.
Separation.
He's got the
Separation,
separation anxiety.
separation.
So the things in relation to that, with not eating in the same room, this separation anxiety that Maines has, we have worked on it, but it's a part of who he is. He's part Sheltie.
No,
and
he
part
is.
Shih Tzu.
He is the part of who you made him to be.
Or did you have him as bottle fed him?
Amy
Or
did.
Amy did. Okay. And she goes to work with him too. So he's always with her.
Yeah, well, he's fine if he's with his pack by himself,
Okay.
but he needs to know where everybody is, otherwise he freaks out.
Okay. Remember the other segment we talked about separation anxiety. I take it your dog is obedience trained, Christopher?
Margaret's met him. I don't know.
I worked with him
Alright.
a little bit. He wasn't too hard to place into commands. I was teaching how to,
What I
place
would
into
do,
them.
I would work stays from across the room instead of on your laps all the time. Let him realize everything is okay. Teach him a placement. I would also tell him to stay and then start working your distance away. Once you accomplish that, start going in another room, count to 10, come back out. Good boy, stay. Now, you notice what I said there. I didn't leave it at a good boy. I said, good boy, stay.
Yeah.
You've got to tell him that command again, or else he thinks he doesn't have to respond. So it's good boy, stay again, disappear, count to 10. That's day one, let's say. Every day, make it a little bit longer. Let him realize nothing is going to happen to him if he's not near you.
Yeah.
That's the way I would deal with that.
Yeah. Place command would be helpful as well.
Yeah.
And you can do that at the grooming shop as well, Christopher. Do a place command there and work on that. Have him in a place with you in the front area, your sales area, the lobby, and then she's in the back, and switch him up. Basically he just needs to build confidence in himself that he is okay, away from his human parents. So I know he loves you both very much.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Oh, that's great, Melanie. You're still working, Tasha.
Did
Very
you see,
good. Good
did
job.
Did you see Jody's comment?
Jody is my cousin. My
She's
dogs
funny.
are idiots. Well, Jody, come on, man.
That's what I was laughing at when
I
you were
know,
talking.
you're part of me a little bit there, Jody. So we are, let's let that training blood flow. All right. I'll help you out when I get down there, and I will see you Thursday. I'm going to Georgia Thursday, folks. So Thursday night I'm leaving, but Margaret will be doing the next show with a groomer. And that ought to be a very interesting show.
A surprise guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be I'm sorry I'm going to have to miss the next one, but what are you going to do?
You'll make up for it the next time. And what we'll do is we'll go over some tips that, she has for starting to socialize your dog to get ready to go to the groomer.
If Amy's not able to make it, then I will give goofy color commentary.
Well,
Right.
Here's the thing. If we can touch base on next week, then how to prepare your puppy. Like a lot of people have, like your doodle dogs or your little poodles, Westies, Scottish Terriers, things like that, Schnauzers. It's good to get them used to feeling their paws and their ear.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher, you know things better than me on that, and I'm sure Cindy does too. But,
I'm an idiot on that. Amy knows. Amy's the genius on it. I'm just
Amy,
a businessman.
okay. Let Amy touch base on that. How to get your dogs used to going to a groomer. Get the dogs used to them brushes. Don't wait till the dog is 5 months old and all of a sudden you're going to bring it to a groomer and it's
Right.
like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. We're going to go over all of that and give you a bunch of tips and tricks. Amy is amazing with the dogs. I've been to their grooming shop and it's awesome.
Here's the other thing I want to touch base on. Again, I'm going to mention it this week. If anybody's got any groups, anybody that is in cities or whatever, talk to your city. I know some people have a lot of dogs running loose and need help with some training. Um, get a hold of Margaret and I, and have them email us at Rockin' Dogs 11, and we can put on a little workshop or a talk to the community or your group or your rescue group, whatever it may be. Like I said, we got 60 some years experience. We know what we're talking about. So if that's all you got, Margaret,
Yes,
that's all I got from the
Chris-
Rockin' Dog Trainer in Cleveland and the Jamming Girl down in Florida. Peace out, people.